As we lock in for 2 hours here on Helmets and Heels. No Lauren Brooks, still enjoying the Thanksgiving holiday this week, a well-deserved week off. RJ Saunders, of course, is here keeping us on the air and pushing all the right buttons as we span the wide world of sports here for the next 2 hours on the Superstation. Looking forward to having Ryan Hickey of CBS Sports Radio joining us a little bit later in the 12 o'clock hour. But we begin today, Taylor Dahl, with the comments from Doug Peterson, who met with reporters for the second time this week ahead of the Jaguars' Week 13 matchup with the Houston Texans earlier this morning. In case you missed it, Doug did say that after an encouraging pseudo practice, if you may, on Monday, Trevor Lawrence will have much more of a workload today. Called it encouraging for his prospects to play this upcoming Sunday against the Houston Texans. But even then, and I think some folks in this room may be in one camp, there is a debate of whether Trevor Lawrence should be playing with the Jaguars in the midst of a 2-9 season.
Yeah, and should we make that a little question?
Absolutely.
Ask our Heeligans?
Let's absolutely make it a question of the Heeligans. We'll post that on X. We'll also post it in our MyBookie Digital Studio live stream. If you were the Jaguars head coach, general manager, top brass, whatever you want to call it, would you be playing Trevor Lawrence this weekend against the Houston Texans? Yes or no? We'll post that here momentarily on X and in that MyBookie Digital Studio. What would you do, Taylor Dahl?
So here's my thing. I keep going back and forth with it because, and I mentioned yesterday, yes, I think that Trevor Lawrence playing does give you the best opportunity to win. And I do think that with this struggling Texans team, you do have the opportunity to win. And even at a 2-9 season, we saw what that win did for the Cleveland Browns last week when they get to their third win and it just felt so good. Sometimes you need to breathe that little bit of life to say that things aren't completely falling apart. So I don't think I'm on the full-on train yet of just lose everything and give it all up. I think that there are players out there like a Josh Hines-Allen, like a Trayvon Walker, like Trevor when he is on the field, like a Tank Bigsby, some of these guys that we see that play hard no matter what. And I do think that they still want to win football games. And so I do think that Trevor gives you the best opportunity to do so. I do think it's funny because going back to when they made the trade for Mac Jones, it was all like, well, we're giving up a draft pick because Mac Jones, if Trevor gets hurt, Mac Jones, you can still win some football games. And that's obviously gone very opposite direction. And people have no faith in him whatsoever because they're begging for a hurt Trevor to play over Mac Jones at this point. But I do want to also say we saw what happened last year. Trevor Lawrence goes down in that Bengals game and things spiraled out of control. And it was injury after injury and after injury. And it wasn't the same injuries, but it just felt like because he wasn't 100%, he wasn't able to maneuver the pocket the way he normally was. He wasn't able to move and take off the way you see him be able to in certain moments and certain successful plays. He wasn't able to get those short third down yardage plays that you would normally be able to see. The accuracy was a little off in certain areas because he wasn't 100%. And they were all different. It was head, shoulder, knees, toes, every sort of injury you could deal with. That is more what I'm concerned with. If Trevor is not 100%, I personally do not want to see him out there because I do not want to see a not 100% Trevor not be able to do the things he does best, not be able to maneuver that pocket, and then get hit because he isn't able to move the way you want or he isn't able to do whatever. And I know it's the opposite throwing arm shoulder, so it's not like it's an ankle or a leg where he's not moving like that, but it still does affect certain things that these quarterbacks do if you're not 100%. And I would be terrified to go through the same thing as we did last year of this last final month. God forbid something happens again and we're just having this 2 months straight in back-to-back years of having Trevor not be 100%. And then he's going into the offseason being banged up again and having to get surgery and having to work through this and this and this. And you're constantly waiting until he's 100% for even camps and OTAs and all of those things. Like, it's not worth it at this point to me. It's not like you are in second place in the AFC South and you're battling the Texans. You're in last place. And so that's my little bit of back and forth that I keep going through.
We now have that question of the day live on our X and on our MyBookie Digital Studio chat line, which, of course, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, or X. But on the YouTube MyBookie Digital Studio, that's where you can cast your vote if you aren't on Twitter or X. Would you play Trevor Lawrence this Sunday versus the Texans? Your options are yes, no, ugh, Here we go again. Let's keep those votes coming as we hear from Doug Peterson on the status of Trevor Lawrence and what we can expect in terms of a workload for him today on this fine Wednesday.
It probably wouldn't be 50-50, but still Mac will get opportunities to take first team reps just to keep him fresh, and keep him engaged, but would love to see Trevor get the bulk of the work when the ones are out there today.
Trevor Lawrence will be the quarterback who meets with the media here momentarily at the Miller Electric Center. So once again, another encouraging sign that he indeed will be the starting quarterback, perhaps when the Jaguars host the Houston Texans this Sunday. And it's a Houston Texans team, Taylor, that, look, we talked about it yesterday with Cody Stutes of HoustonFootball.com. It's a team that's leaking oil. It's a team that gave up over 150 yards on the ground to Tony Pollard and the then last place Tennessee Titans this past Sunday. Yeah. And so that's why I asked Doug Peterson when he expressed that Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne are full go this week for practice and presumably for the game on Sunday, when Doug said, yeah, we know we have to run the ball this Sunday.
That's something that we have to do better as an offense. We have to run the ball better, and it's not just the running backs. It's all 11, right? It's the quarterback putting us in the right run if we have run checks. It's obviously the offensive line, the tight ends, and we know the running backs. So that's an area that we've got to improve. But having two healthy running backs right now definitely helps that. Travis could definitely be explosive and get you some tough yards when needed, and we've seen what Tank has done early in the season and all of that. So it's good to get them both, out there and get them both back in the offense.
Yeah, I said yesterday the probably biggest thing for me this weekend, and I will say even honestly outside of Trevor Lawrence playing, because I think that when you go back to some numbers in the last month of last season when he wasn't 100%, didn't look too well. Tank. I think Tank is so important for this game, and with what he adds to being that downhill runner, just being able to have him and ETN and having that rotation of being able to have both those backs, like we've talked about the Lions and talked about the way the Lions use both Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Being able to have both of those guys healthy and out there, I think is massive right now. And I do think that even if it was Mac Jones, who people who listen to the show know I am not a Mac Jones fan, but I think it even helps him because it does take some of that pressure off of Mac Jones when you do have two guys that you can rely on that run game. And so, yeah, I think that is very important to be able to have those two on the field on Sunday.
Well, it takes a ton of pressure off Trevor Lawrence or Mac Jones, and I'm glad that Doug was transparent and said that is something that we know we need to do better. Maybe that's something they changed during the bye week, perhaps. I don't know. Don't want to give away a game plan here, he says, which, hey, agreed.
We changed some stuff, but we're not going to tell you anything.
Yeah, I'm curious if this is something that will change, because let me read for you folks. Tank Bigsby, his game log so far in 2024. He had 12 carries for 73 yards against the Miami Dolphins. Modest. We know Travis Etienne certainly had a lot of play in that game. Also had a fumble that swung the entire momentum, but that's a story for another time. Against the Cleveland Browns, 0 carries, 0 yards. He suffered the injury on the kickoff return. Happens. Against the Buffalo Bills, Tank Bigsby, 2 carries for 9 yards. The next week, 7 carries for 90 yards against the Houston Texans. The following week, in a win over Indianapolis, 13 carries for 101 yards. Then 7 carries for 24 yards in a loss to the Bears. 26 carries for 118 yards with no Travis Etienne in a win over the Patriots. 18 carries for 78 yards in a tough loss to the Green Bay Packers. 8 carries for 22 yards, 2 carries for 4 yards. In each of his last 2 games played, he did not play against the Detroit Lions. That roller coaster cannot happen. And I understand there is certainly something to be said of riding the hot hand.
Yeah.
And so perhaps you could make the argument, well, in those games that maybe Tank didn't have the bulk of the carries, Travis Etienne did. But that's not reality, folks. Yeah. The reality is...
If that was the case, it would be a valid argument. But it's not.
No, the reality is that what this team does is they go away from the run game. And that is where, regardless of who is starting at quarterback this upcoming Sunday against the Houston Texans, knowing that this is an area that the lowly Tennessee Titans and the lowly Dallas Cowboys have tried to exploit the last 2 weeks. That is an area the Jaguars have to capitalize on if both those players are healthy.
Yeah, and there was the chart kind of surfacing going around on Twitter from FTN, and it had the yards after contact and the missed broken tackle rate. Tank Bigsby is by far the leader in both of those categories. And when I say by far, it is light years away from the next closest running back when it comes to forcing those missed tackles and those yards after contact. And that is exactly what you need in an offense right now that just isn't able to get much done, who is also missing two of their receivers that they were counting on in the beginning of the year. So when you are down those guys and you're counting on this rookie wide receiver to be your main guy now, then leaning on the run game is probably the best possible thing you can do.
We do have that question of the day live on X and in the MyBookie Digital Studio chat line in case you haven't had a chance to vote yet. We'll also get to some of your responses on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, which, of course, you can get in on the conversation at 641-1010. Would you play Trevor Lawrence this Sunday against the Houston Texans? 51.4% of you so far on X say yes. At the MyBookie Digital Studio, that number is 56% of you say yes. I'm kind of surprised with the backlash we're receiving, not just in the comments on YouTube, Taylor, but also on the text line. Several of these texts, these comments, he's getting paid $55 million. It's a non-throwing shoulder. He needs the reps to get better. He's the leader, $55 million. If you're healthy, you play. Maybe that's something to be said of that's the reality, and that's the old school situation.
Yeah.
If you're paying to put for tickets and to put your butt in the seat, that you want to be treated to the show because he's being paid $55 million to play. But I also was curious to see if our Heeligans, if our listening audience was in that camp of it's not the best thing for him long-term to play in an offense that is anemic if he is not in the lineup.
And that's what I don't know if you are developing in a situation that is this year, honestly. I think we've seen regression from Trevor, and we've seen that in certain areas, and it's because of certain offensive line issues, because of play calling issues, because of certain games. We just talked about the roller coaster of the run game. Things like that, I think, have been hampering his development in certain areas. So I think there is an argument that it isn't beneficial. I don't think it's helping him right now to be out there in this offense personally, but I do see the side of why not. And that's why I started that, where I keep going back and forth. I completely see the side of this guy's getting paid a lot of money. It's not his throwing arm, so why not? Go out there. If it's not a risk of getting further injured, which I think is a lot of people's thing, okay, if there's risk of it getting worse and then the surgery's more intense or whatever the case may be, then stay away from it. If it's not that, then I could see people's valid argument of not wanting that. But it is interesting to me that people think in this environment right now he's being developed.
Yeah. It also stems from the argument that we have with first-round rookie quarterbacks. The idea of, they're only going to develop if they play. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. Patrick Mahomes sat for 1 year. Jordan Love sat for 3 years. I know he's still got some warts and all going on. But
Bryce Young just got to sit for a couple weeks and came back a different quarterback.
Right. And so that's where I don't understand the idea of, he needs to play to get better. No, playing in a situation that forces him to carry such a heavy load that he may develop bad habits may actually not be the best thing for him. I understand, though, for those of you who are paying
you want to see Trevor.
You are paying and spending your hard-earned money to go to Everbank Stadium this Sunday. You would like to see Trevor, and so I respect that. What I think you'd also like to see, if we could hit one more from Doug Peterson's press conference this morning, you would also like to see a pass rush that, I don't know, maybe threatens the quarterback. Here's Doug on what changes they may have to make along that defensive front.
Yeah, I think, the rotational thing has helped us, has kept some guys fresh. We got to continue that. We got to continue to find ways of, I think, moving our guys around a little bit without giving away a game plan, being able to put our guys in positions to be successful, to try to get an advantage if you can. And Eric plays more inside, great. If he's outside, great. Wherever they line up. It's a matter of just trusting the scheme, trusting the technique, and just playing with a lot of strain and finish.
Okay, to me it sounds like you're doing nothing. You're doing the same exact. You're still rotating. You're still keeping Eric Armstead playing half and half, even though he's better inside. You're still keeping the same techniques and schemes that you've done that hasn't worked all season. So, yeah, let's just roll with it. Let's just roll with what this defense has been.
Because the defense has been able to generate such a pass rush beyond Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, which was fascinating because I asked Doug Peterson about Danico Autry, who did not play against the Jaguars in their first meeting with the Houston Texans week 4 because he was suspended.
Did his eyes light up?
Yeah. His eyes, he was so engaged and gave us such a great analysis of the dimension he's been able to give that pass rush. And he actually brought up the idea of two hammers. The idea of, you have the first wave of Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, and then you have Danico Autry and Derek Barnett, who can both go inside outside. And so he's like, yeah, it's like having two hammers. And all I could say was,
if you have the manpower to do that, good for you. But if you don't, you have to alter what your defense can do. And I think every single person we've talked to, Mia, about the Jags and what's gone wrong defensively has all said the same thing, where the strategy worked with Ryan Nielsen in Atlanta. Number one, because I don't think they had any true stars. So it was like this rotation of a bunch of guys just kind of working. Like they needed that refreshing because they had to be those guys coming off and being hot and fresh. But I think here you do have two stars, but in their heads, they thought they had more than what they did. And so they thought that they did have that hammer or whatever he wanted to call it. Two hammers, and you don't. So they keep two hammering, and the second hammer is not working.
No, they only have one hammer, and they also only play that one hammer. Those two edge rushers together, probably like 60% of the time. 60% of the time it works, but the other 40%, well,
there's nothing.
I'm very curious to see when it comes to the pass rush of the Jaguars, depending on, of course, who is the regime making these decisions in 2025. Our friend John Shipley tweeted out earlier this week that Arden Key, after his performance, of course, after building the city here in Jacksonville, his performance with the Tennessee Titans against these Houston Texans on Sunday, he is now officially 6 sacks last year, 6 sacks this season so far.
Yeah.
And I saw plenty of Jaguar fans who replied and essentially were like, oh, we don't need those 6 sacks. Do you know who your third leading sack getter has been each of the past 2 seasons? Last year was Roy Robertson Harris. I believe he finished with 3.5 sacks. Yeah. He's no longer on the roster. This year, I couldn't even tell you who it is. I believe it may be Foye Oluokun with like 2 sacks or Eric Armstead with 2. So the point is that you can laugh all you want about Arden Key building the city and his 6 sacks that he has had each of the past 2 seasons.
But those 6 sacks were 5 more sacks than what you have from your second leader now.
And perhaps that would be the hammer that Doug Peterson is alluding to. All right, let's keep the conversation going. 641-1010 on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Y'all are, who thought that the Wednesday before Thanksgiving would be quiet for business? Y'all are lighting it up. A lot of feelings about our question of the day. Would you play Trevor Lawrence on Sunday against the Houston Texans if you were the decision maker at the Miller Electric Center in Everbank Stadium? We're going to catch up with Ryan Hickey of CBS Sports Radio coming up on the other side. He has some interesting hot takes when it comes to the college football playoff bracket, the latest projection of which was released last night. We'll do that and more coming up right here on Helmets and Heels.
If you want more action,
woo! It's Smash Mouth football, baby!
Tom McManus.
Fridays 10 to noon on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
What makes that famous call?
Dinner's ready!
Even better? It's cooking a great meal with natural gas, enjoying faster cooking times and precise temperature control. And now getting a valuable cash rebate up to $300 when you install an energy-efficient natural gas range or cooktop.
Anyone want seconds?
When you show your home love with natural gas, it loves you right back. To learn more and how to qualify, visit peoplesgas.com/rebates.
Mia here for Duck Duck Rooter. The holidays are coming, and so is your family. Is your septic system ready? What about that leaky kitchen faucet you've been putting off fixing? Or that toilet that's been struggling to flush and you've said, I'll deal with it next week. Don't let plumbing chaos steal your holiday cheer. Call Duck Duck Rooter today to fix those issues before Aunt Linda and Cousin Earl blame you for ruining Thanksgiving dinner. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Mia here, and when I was buying a new construction home last summer, there was no question, folks. Dreamfinders Homes was the builder for me. A big reason why? Their unbeatable interest rates. Trust me, right now you can take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. You won't find that anywhere else, folks. Find your dream home, take advantage of unbeatable rates, and move in today. I'll say it again, 2.99% year one rate. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Show C for Blossman Gas. They've been providing hometown service and the comforts of propane to home and businesses since 1951. Imagine movie night spent around glowing gas fireplace logs, cookouts in the backyard with your propane grill, or laundry done faster with your gas dryer. Blossman has a wide variety of gas appliances to fit your needs. Propane delivery, gas appliances, and a full-service team. Blossman Gas is your local company for everything propane. Blossman Gas, log on, blossmangas.com, and check out the Blossman difference.
It's a Helmets and Heels Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday.
Greetings from Daytona, where a band of dreamers took a strip of beach and turned it into a proving ground. The great American race, where year after year, greatness is the destination.
Drivers, start your engines, let's go!
So book your experience and soak in 500 miles of history and tradition. The Daytona 500, February 16th, 2025. Secure your seats now at Daytona500.com.
Mia here for MyBookie. Thanksgiving isn't just about stuffing your face, it's about stuffing your wallet. And MyBookie has a bunch of killer promos to help you do just that. Thanksgiving Day, MyBookie is boosting the odds on Devon A-Chain to score the first touchdown in Dolphins Packers. If he scores first, you cash in big. If he doesn't, MyBookie has your back with a full refund. That's what I call a no-lose bet. Starting Monday, MyBookie's Telegram prize pool contest kicks off. The pool starts at $15K and grows by $5,000 for every 1,000 new subscribers. All you have to do is join the Telegram channel by December 1 to lock in your share. You'll find the Telegram channel link in our MyBookie videos and graphics this week on the 1010XL social platforms. The more subscribers, the bigger the winning. So spread the word and let's make this jackpot massive. Here's the game plan. This Thanksgiving, load up your plate, grab your phone, lock in your picks. MyBookie's giving you risk-free football, a shot at growing prize pool, and if you're new to the family, they'll double your deposit with promo code 1010XL. But anything, anytime, from anywhere with MyBookie.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Franchi Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. Beaver's annual Black Friday silent sale. Every car on the lot will be discounted so low, we can't even show the prices on TV. Doors open at 6 a.m. Friday. First come, first served. And once they're gone, it's over. Plus, anyone who buys between 6 and 9 a.m. will get a big screen TV and $1,000 cash. Want more? We're giving away free oil changes between 6 and 9 a.m. The Black Friday silent sale only at Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet. You don't want to miss this.
Small business, big target. DoubleCheck provides AI-powered cybersecurity solutions to small businesses so you can keep your eye on the ball. Book your free consultation this month for 10% off your first 6 months. Visit doublecheck.com today.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barra here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barrier Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to barrierorthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barrier Orthopedics.
Value or flavor? Price or taste? Why choose when you can get both? With everyday deals at Sonny's. Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, and all you can eat ribs for just $19.99. Yep, you heard right. All your favorites are now available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Welcome back in. We are getting a lot of reaction from our Do You Play Trevor Lawrence this weekend question. And we will get into a little bit of Trevor Lawrence and Jaguars talk. We are joined right now by Ryan Hickey. He is Ryan_Hickey3 on Twitter, host of Hick at Night on Infinity Sports Network, Sundays 10 p to 2 a. That's quite the time slot to have. Ryan, thanks so much for hopping on with us.
Thank you so much for having me. You're right. Always a lot of fun kind of recapping what is usually a crazy NFL day. So it's a busy show. It's a fun show for sure.
I just hope we're not interfering with your sleep schedule, given the time of your program, Ryan. We appreciate you joining us.
You ladies know, sleep in football season, it doesn't happen.
Hardly happens, yes. I do want to obviously get into some NFL and Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, but I want to start with college football because the college football playoff rankings coming out last night as we're getting ready for rivalry weekend. We have some games, obviously the South Carolina Clemson game, Texas, Texas A&M, a couple of those ones that do they shine a little bit on this weekend slate. But I saw your tweet and you had your two takeaways, and the one being that South Carolina, you say that South Carolina doesn't have a shot, even if they do beat Clemson. So give us your thoughts on that. And I feel like it's unfortunate for South Carolina because they've been playing really good football lately.
They have. I mean, they have been one of the hottest teams, let's say, 6 weeks or so. But, like, you look at the rankings, you look where they are, right? They come in at 15, and they have a big game against Clemson. If they win, let's say, I just don't see how they jump ahead of Alabama and Ole Miss, who right now is 13 and 14 respectively, in part because they lost to both, right? And I get they're playing well right now, but that doesn't mean we should ignore what happened back in September, back when they actually played two of these teams and close lost to Alabama for sure on the road, or they got blown out by Ole Miss. And so it's just like the thing that bothers me in general is like we have like amnesia of just like what happens or just think like September and early October results don't matter. They do. And so that's why, like, when you look at South Carolina, they're playing great right now and beating, some impressive teams. But their resume, when it comes to, like, are you going to put them or Alabama in if a spot opens up, I don't see how the committee or anyone could justify, we're going to put South Carolina in because they're playing well right now, even though they even though they lost to Alabama. Like, games have to matter. Head-to-head has to matter. And that's why when you look at South Carolina, 3 losses, they're playing well, but unfortunately, 2 of the 3 losses they suffered are to right now 2 teams ahead of them in Alabama, Ole Miss. I just can't see the justification of moving up the Gamecocks and punishing Alabama for beating them.
And I do think, too, with what the Ole Miss and Alabama games looked like this last weekend, it probably hurt South Carolina even more.
That's true. You're right about that for sure.
So South Carolina clocks in at number 15 in the latest college football playoff rankings. Ole Miss at 14, Bama 13, Clemson at 12, despite, of course, the fact that last night's playoff projection show led off with the idea of did they leave the back door open for Clemson or South Carolina, the winner of that game this weekend. Boise State at 11. And the Indiana Hoosiers, Ryan Hickey, they clock in at number 10. That's your other hot take from this latest set of projections. You believe Indiana is a lock to make the postseason, especially as they face a Purdue team that is on a 10-game losing streak.
Yeah, they will walk all over Purdue. I don't think you got to worry about that if you're an Indiana fan. I hate to do this. I have to slightly walk back a little bit of a hot take. In the moment, you see where Indiana drops from 5-10, I thought, okay, they're in for sure. And then I was starting to do some math and then starting to play out some scenarios here. The one scenario I calculated later on after the tweet that I do maybe have to amend a little bit is this. The one doomsday scenario for Indiana where they get left out is if Texas A&M runs the table. Aggies right now, despite what happened last week against Auburn, they sit there at 20. They control their destiny. They beat Texas. They're in the SEC title game. They beat Georgia. Doesn't matter what their record is. They're in, right? They're automatically in. And so now the thing that I don't trust the committee to do, or I believe the committee will do, I guess is a better way to say it, is if A&M does beat Texas, I don't think they will, but if they do, is the committee going to drop Texas, who would then be 10-2, out of the SEC title game, where they drop them from where they are right now at 3, would they drop them to 11? 12, would they drop them below Indiana and leave the Longhorns out of the playoff? I don't think they would. And so that, I think, is the one nightmare scenario here for Indiana, where I don't think they'll get bumped for Clemson if Clemson beats South Carolina. I don't think they'll get bumped for Alabama if Alabama blows out Auburn in the Iron Bowl. The one doomsday scenario here for the Hoosiers is if you see A&M run the table, they win the SEC, A&M is in. Georgia's not getting left out if they make the SEC title game, even with 3 losses. And I don't think they would leave out Texas at 10-2. And I think the one team that could be the odd man out could be the Hoosiers.
It looked like for about a half this last week that Minnesota was going to make it a more obvious choice for people when it came to Penn State, but Penn State ended up pulling that game out. That has to be one of the more, if not most, criticized teams in this top. What are your thoughts on the Nittany Lions?
So I will say this. I am biased. I'm a Penn State grad. I try to be I
didn't know that, by the way, before saying that.
No, but you're right. They have been the linchpin for sure. But I'm going to try to be unbiased here. I think I can be. Penn State's resume, the best thing they have, right, is that 7-point loss at home to Ohio State. Not like it's fine, don't get me wrong, but they don't have a win they can lean on that says, whoa, that's impressive. Now, again, 11-1, we can question their resume. Like, if you want to question their resume, I have no problem with it. The one thing that bothers me, though, about Penn State is the fact that people want to nitpick Penn State and then ignore Texas. If you want to get on Penn State for their lack of big wins and who they played, fine. Again, I can't disagree. But then point the finger at Texas, who the only real team they played this year is Georgia, and they got steamrolled. Like, we saw 3 quarterback changes go in that game. It's Quinn, Arch, back to Quinn. The offense got nothing going. They were manhandled by Georgia then at home. At least Penn State was competitive in their game against Ohio State. So I would argue Penn State's loss, I hate this argument, but it is part of the deal, right? Penn State's loss is better than Texas's loss, and neither team has really played anybody of consequence. Now, Texas can change it this week against A&M. Even though, again, that's not a great win if you could beat the number 20 ranked Aggies. But Penn State's resume is not great. They've taken care of business, which I think is also, when you look at some of the SEC teams, they have failed to do, which I think people ignore too often. You want to talk about Alabama's wins and Georgia's wins. Well, those teams also failed to take care of business and beat some of the teams they should have beaten in the first place. Penn State's resume is not great. I definitely agree with you there, but neither is Texas's to this point.
He is the host of Hick at Night Sundays from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. on the Infinity Sports Network and CBS Sports Radio. Ryan Hickey joining us on the Garber Automall Hotline. One off our text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, where our listeners, Ryan, who we affectionately call Heeligans, interact with us. This is
I like that.
Yeah, hey, we appreciate it. This one's from 910. I just want to say, against common opponents, South Carolina is 2-2. Florida is 3-1. Not saying that Florida deserves any playoff talk, but I am saying everyone needs to chill on South Carolina. Ryan, as we bring this conversation within the college football world a little closer here to us in Jacksonville, what do you make of that Heeligans argument?
Wow. I mean, but that's also part, to be fair, when it comes to, South Carolina, everyone's talking about their resume and how well they're playing. They beat A&M. They steamrolled A&M. Great win. But now A&M just lost to Auburn, and now that loss has kind of trickles down. Then you look at who they played, who they've lost to, and who they've beaten. Missouri's beyond. That's a whole different discussion for a whole different day of how Missouri loses South Carolina, somehow doesn't move at 23, then they move up in the rankings this past weekend after steamrolling the worst team in the SEC, one of the worst teams in all of college football, Mississippi State. That's one of those wins that is very questionable, to say the least. I look at South Carolina's resume. I just don't – they're playing great football, yes. But is it enough to justify a 3-loss team climbing up? No. I don't think it's close. And honestly, I don't understand all this push towards South Carolina making it.
I think it's funny because the whole conversation of the expansion was like it would calm down some of the chaos that happened, and I feel like it has not. It's just still, it's just still there. Before we let you go, I do want to get a couple NFL questions in, and when we talk about the Jaguars facing the Houston Texans this weekend, what are your thoughts on the situation right now with Doug Peterson and his time in Jacksonville? I know there's been a lot of drawn similarities to kind of his end of time at Philly. So what are your outside perspective on what's going on here with Doug and the Jags?
First and foremost, I'm surprised he's still coaching. I thought to me after the Lions game going into the bye, they would fire him. He seemed like a dead man walking. I don't care what he says. That team quit. Even his defense, or when he's asked about if the team quit, he goes, I don't think they let go of the rope, in the most non-passionate voice possible. I'm shocked he's still right now employed. At this point, I guess Shad Khan's going to ride it out, but he does not seem to have the ear of the team. That team has, to me, quit on him. They play with no fire, no emotion. This is just a lost season. It's crazy to think for a team that just paid their quarterback and had some expectations. And by the way, what is proving to be, right, an open AFC South. Not like the Texans are running away with the division. And here you are before you even get to Thanksgiving, and it's all of a sudden, oh, who's going to be the new coach? What's the regime going to be? It's a mess. They need a coaching overhaul. They need a lot of roster overhaul as well. The Jaguars are in a bad spot.
As we let you go, and of course you can follow Ryan on X or Twitter at Ryan_Hickey 3. I'll leave you with our question of the day here on Helmets and Heels. Would you play Trevor Lawrence in an AFC South matchup this upcoming Sunday here at Everbank Stadium against the Houston Texans?
No, I would not. Until the Jaguars' offensive line can prove they can actually block, I wouldn't, just because at this point, I think the only thing that could happen to Trevor Lawrence is him getting hurt and then hurting the offseason, maybe hurting his improvement to, learn the new coach and the new system. I just would be very afraid to put him out there right now with this offensive line being the way it is. If you can prove to me over the next, few weeks that you can actually shore it up and protect, okay, fine. Let's talk about putting him on there, maybe salvaging what has been a horrendous season. But the way the offensive line is playing right now, I just would not risk putting him back there against a Texans defensive line that can get after the quarterback as well and inflict some damage and some punishment. I would play it safe as possible, put Mac Jones in there, feed him to the Lions, and at least for one more week, kind of punt the ball on that decision.
All right, Ryan. Well, thank you so much. We hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll chat with you soon.
Likewise, ladies, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving, Ryan. And again, you can catch him on Hick at Night Sundays from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. on CBS Sports Radio. Our thanks to Ryan for joining us on the Garber Automall Hotline. Are you ready to make some money, Taylor Dahl?
Yes.
Let's go back to back with picks from our friends at MyBookie. My midweek picks are coming up next. And then, drum roll please, the final regular season college football weekend is upon us. Who are the ladies of Helmets and Heels rolling with? We'll do that coming up in the 1 o'clock hour as well. This is Helmets and Heels on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Mia here for my friends at Projax Roofing. Meteorological hurricane season ends this weekend. If your roof took on any damage during Hurricane Helene or Hurricane Milton, know that Projax Roofing is here to help. From the smallest of repairs to full roof replacements, my friend Mike has been serving all of Northeast Florida for 25 years. While we hope everyone stayed safe during those storms and any that should pop up in the next few weeks, if you need help with your roof, call Projax Roofing, 904-338-1722, or visit them online at projaxroofingfl.com.
Imagine beautiful new windows and doors that elevate your space and keep you comfortable year-round. At Renewal by Andersen, we specialize in custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors that are crafted to last. Right now, for a limited time, save 20% off your entire project. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation today. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
You want to know what 3 little words everyone wants to hear, especially this time of the year? Toyotathon is on, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota. Mia here. Arlington's lot is packed with hundreds of new Toyotas, and they're all marked with Toyotathon savings. How big are those savings? How about financing as low as 0% on select new models? 0%! When was the last time you heard the word zero? But before you get all caught up in the frenzy like me, remember that every new Toyota purchase at Arlington, you get the benefit of their 60-day exchange program. That's 60 days to love your new Toyota purchase or exchange it for one that you do for total buying confidence. Plus, every new purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty. That's unlimited time and miles. So where should you get your Toyotathon savings? From Arlington Toyota. With a 4.7 out of 5-star rating and over 21,000 Google reviews, they know how to do Toyotathon right. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Miami Hurricanes survive and advance on Saturday and now are only one win away from the ACC title game. On Saturday, the Canes took down Wake 42-14 off of a strong performance from the defense, who held Wake Forest to under 200 total yards of offense. Next up for the Canes, a huge one in Syracuse in the Dome. The Miami Hurricane Report brought to you by Performance Painting.
Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday.
Helmets and heels.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 27, 1960, hockey legend Gordie Howe became the first NHL player to score 1,000 points. He achieved this milestone in his 938th game.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Ballou here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
RJ Saunders here, sports lovers. I recently took a tip from Frank Frangie when I needed to send flowers to my mother. Frank told me that Kuhn Flowers is the only florist he ever uses. So that's what I do now. I use Kuhn Flowers. Find them online at KuhnFlowers.com.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
As the Jaguars gear up to host a divisional AFC South matchup against the Houston Texans, Jags head coach Doug Peterson previews Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud.
And he's an exceptional quarterback, good young quarterback in this league that the league needs. He's an exciting player. I don't know everything that goes on down there. You know, I'm sure there's been injury. You know, guys have missed. He's missed his playmakers from time to time. And then there's the film, what he's put on film. You know, the explosive plays, things of that nature.
JTA Game Day Express is back. Save gas and avoid parking hassles as the Jaguars take on the Texans this Sunday. Let them do the driving. With multiple locations around town and passes starting at $10 on the My JTA app. To learn more, visit JTAFLA.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Kept classy by First Coast Lighting and Fans. Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor.
On 1010XL.
Welcome back into Helmets and Heels. Mia O'Brien, Taylor Dahl. RJ Saunders is indeed here. One of the Heeligans on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, RJ, just texted in and is concerned where you are. Don't worry. R Got No J is in his house, and good thing, too, because we're going to need his help as we look at this week's midday picks.
Now, Midday MyBookie picks. Experience the Vegas thrill from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
I have a 5-pack for you, courtesy of our friends at mybookie.ag. No, not a 5-pack of a beverage. A 5-pack of picks. Where in the world of sports would you like to begin, Taylor Doll?
Let's go basketball.
All right, let's start in the NBA. Sorry, RJ, we're going to put you to work early. The Orlando Magic will host Taylor Doll's Chicago Bulls this evening. The Magic are 10-point favorites coming off of a 95-84 victory on the road at Charlotte on Monday evening. Our intern Thomas is going to be in his house down in the O-Town for this game, so be sure to follow along on the 1010XL social channels, as I know he'll be posting tons of great content. I got the Magic -10 in this one. This team is absolutely rolling. They are on a 3-game win streak. That includes road victories over the Los Angeles Lakers and the Charlotte Hornets. RJ Saunders, what say you?
I do like the selection. This can also be a game where you do sleep on a team that is inferior to you, but I do have to believe the Magic want to continue taking care of business. The New York Knicks are right on their heels when it comes to that third spot, so I'll take the Magic with -10.
The Bulls have lost 2 of their last 3. They are 3-7 in their last 10, but RJ brings up a good point. Could they possibly sneak up on the Magic on this Thanksgiving Eve? I'll tell you
They
one.
already beat them once this year.
Not wrong. You are not wrong. So that's an interesting play. I'll tell you one team that's not going to sneak up on anybody. It's the Battle of the Tigers in the Maui Invitational Championship tonight. Folks, Auburn is on a tear like we have not seen since Auburn went on a tear to make it to the 2019 Final Four. I know UConn did win back-to-back national titles literally last spring. But the reality is their 17-game winning streak still is on the same level as what we've seen from Auburn, who cruised past UNC last night. 85-72 was easily the biggest blowout of what's been an exciting Maui Invitational. Janai Broome, 23 points, 19 rebounds. This is a Memphis team that is built on the play of its backcourt, namely Tyrese Hunter, who, of course, spent the last 2 years at UT in Texas and then began his college career at Iowa State. The Tigers are 9-point favorites over the other Tigers of Memphis. Give me War Eagle to win the Maui Invitational. I need more Bruce Pearl content. I'm going to be honest. Also, our new friends from Closets by Design, who are going to be part of Helmets and Heels moving forward, they're wonderful folks, and Francis is an Auburn alum. So therefore, we will always roll with Auburn for our friends at Closets by Design. Let's kick it over to Thursday's NFL slate on Thanksgiving. Some breaking news. I don't know if it's breaking news. It's Tommy DeVito. It's Tommy DeVito. I don't really know if that's news to any of you.
By the way, listeners, Danny Dimes is on the Vikings now. We had a couple people text in saying, let Trevor sit and sign Danny Dimes. Unfortunately, you cannot go get
He wants to get that Kevin O'Connell rub, don't we all? Tommy DeVito did not practice today. He is not flying to Dallas with the Giants, and so the assumption is that it will be Drew Lock getting the start under center against the Dallas Cowboys at 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow afternoon. Here's the interesting, though, Taylor. Interesting thing is the line is actually shifted in favor of the Giants with the news that Drew Lock presumably will be the starting quarterback.
I like Drew Lock, honestly.
This started as a 4-point line in favor of the Cowboys. It's now a 3.5-point line. That's why I'm not going to touch that spread. I'm simply going to play the under 37.5 in a battle of backup quarterbacks and play it safe in this week's midday picks. For the second time in this week's midweek picks, let's head to Memphis. Here on the college football front, the one game that we will have in college football on Thanksgiving this year. I don't know why the Egg Bowl got moved. That's a story for another time. We're going to get to the Egg Bowl here in a second. But the Memphis Tigers, 9-2, will travel to Tulane, to New Orleans, to face the Green Wave, who also come into this game at 9-2. This is an absolute dandy tomorrow night, folks, at 7:30 p.m. I'm going to take Memphis to cover that 2-touchdown spread because I think this is a Tigers team that, yes, I know it's been mixed results throughout the course of this season. They did once upon a time beat Mike Norvell in the Mike Norvell revenge game. And so give me the Tigers to finish this one off strong, even though the Green Wave are certainly making a push, especially if Boise State slips up this weekend, to get that group of 5 spot in the 12-team college football playoff bracket. And finally, we will hit the Egg Bowl. It's on Friday this year. It's not on Thanksgiving. It doesn't feel right. Ole Miss, 26-point favorites against Mississippi State. I know it's been tough sledding for Jeff Lebby in year one in Stark Vegas. That's a massive line. This Ole Miss team, though, they ain't going to be happy after what happened in the swamp this past weekend. So give me Ole Miss minus 26. Let's run through today's midweek picks brought to you by MyBookie. The Orlando Magic, 10-point favorites at home against the Chicago Bulls tonight. The Auburn Tigers, 9-point favorites in the Maui Invitational Championship game against the Memphis Tigers this evening. I am taking the under between the Giants and the Cowboys, 37.5 total tomorrow afternoon on Thanksgiving. I am taking the Memphis Tigers on the gridiron to cover a 14-point spread. They are plus 14 against the Tulane Green Wave, which, by the way, it's Green Wave, singular, right?
Green Wave.
Okay. MyBookie, I'm going to have to talk to my friends there. They have it the Green Waves.
Oh.
Yeah. So
multiple waves.
We're going to make sure that they get it. It's one wave. They are a united wave. However, they will not beat Memphis by more than 2 touchdowns. And finally, Ole Miss minus 26 in the Egg Bowl. Not only can you get in on the fun at mybookie.ag by using promo code 1010XL, but we have a very, very special event going on with our friends at MyBookie. The Telegram prize pool contest has begun, folks. So Telegram is an app. If you don't have it already, download it. If you join MyBookie's channel by December 1st, you will be a part of their prize pool contest, which starts at $15K. It grows by $5,000 for every 1,000 new subscribers. We have the link not only on our 1010XL page, on all of our various picks that we're going to be unveiling over the next 24, 48 hours for the rest of the weekend. And of course, when I post my midday picks, that link will also be there. So make sure you not only download Telegram, but you sign up for that prize pool contest. Again, starts at $15K, grows by $5,000 for every 1,000 new subscribers.
Love it. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot going on
With
at
some
MyBookie.
money for Thanksgiving, that'd be perfect.
And of course, the double deposit bonus still going on. So make sure you sign up with promo code 1010XL. And on Thursdays, risk-free odds on Thursdays at mybookie.ag. So you can get in on the fun there as well. We also posted our midweek picks in video form on 1010XL. I gave you my rundown of my 3 NFL games. We're going to make our picks here momentarily. So I don't want to get your prediction, Taylor, for the nightcap tomorrow, as it will be part of our picks. But your Chicago Bears kick off the Thanksgiving slate. Was a 10.5-point line. They are now 9.5-point dogs against the Detroit Lions. What say you for that first matchup tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah, maybe this is bold. I think the Bears cover. I really do. I think that they've played Lions hard every single time they played him, even last year when they were on their really hot streak. The Bears were up 20, ended up blowing that lead and lost, but then won the second game. They're really, really good at getting Jared Goff to turn the ball over, and I think he has 9 interceptions this year, but 5 came out of the Houston Texans game. He's a very streaky guy when it comes to turning the ball over, and the Bears have forced like the last 2 games, I think they have 6 interceptions off of Jared Goff. It's just something that it's like he's cursed. And then even on the Rams, they have a high number of interceptions off of Jared Goff in that sense. I do think it'll still be a good game, and I keep going back and forth about it because I think the Bears have so many things that they still need to figure out, and I think that Eberflus will ultimately lose the game for them, but I do think that they'll play close just because you're familiar with this team. I think, like I said, I think a lot of it is just being able to take advantage of Jared Goff's mistakes. I think they'll be able to run the ball all over the Bears, so that'll be a little bit of the concern. But with the offense, the way that it's been the last couple weeks with Thomas Brown taking over, Caleb Williams has been playing lights out. He hasn't thrown a pick in, I think, 5 straight games now. And so I think that they'll be able to battle the Lions. It's just going to come down to the end where the Lions end up winning by a touchdown because they're the better team.
48-point total over-under between both the Bears and the Lions and the nightcap in Green Bay between the Dolphins and the Packers. We're going to pick that game as part of our Helmets and Heels picks. I am curious, though. Giants, Cowboys, can you pick a backup quarterback who you're riding with this 3.5-point spread?
I mean, I guess I don't know. That one's honestly hard because I feel like Cooper Rush has been, last week actually looked pretty decent where you're like, all right, this is the Cooper Rush you saw a little bit of when he had to come in last year. But then the week before, he was absolutely atrocious. And then Drew Lock, obviously, this is the first time he's really getting reps with this team. So what does that look like? It's kind of hard to say, but I I want to go Dallas just because I feel like the Giants are just, I put them as my trending down and down and down, so I have to roll with that.
Whether you're rolling with our NFL picks or our college football picks, which are forthcoming, or if you want to get in on some live action right now, folks, we have afternoon basketball. Louisville and Indiana are currently in action in the battle for Atlantis. First-year coach Pat Kelsey's Cardinals team up 37-28 on 14th-ranked Indiana. If you want to get in on that, you can also visit mybookie.ag and check out their live lines right now. Let's keep the money train rolling into the 1 o'clock hour. Our weekly picks coming up next right here on Helmets and Heels.
It's not reinventing the wheel, it's making it roll down the field.
Let's keep it rolling.
Listen for the Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville drive of the game.
That's a great drive right there.
On 1010XL.
Keep going. We got to keep going, keep going, keep going.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Mia here for MyBookie. Thanksgiving isn't just about stuffing your face, it's about stuffing your wallet, and MyBookie has a bunch of killer promos to help you do just that. Thanksgiving Day, MyBookie's boosting the odds on Devon Achane to score the first touchdown in Dolphins-Packers. If he scores first, you cash big. If he doesn't, MyBookie has your back with a full refund. That's what I call a no-lose bet. Of course, starting on Monday, this past Monday, MyBookie's Telegram prize pool contest kicked off. The pool starts at $15K, grows by $5,000 for every 1,000 new subscribers. All you have to do is join the Telegram channel by December 1 to lock in your share. You'll find the Telegram channel link in our MyBookie videos and graphics all week long on the 1010XL social platforms. The more subscribers, the bigger the winning, so spread the word. Let's make this jackpot massive. This Thanksgiving, load up your plate, grab your phone, lock in your picks. MyBookie is giving you so many ways to get in on the action. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL as the double deposit bonus is still live. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Value or flavor? Price or taste? Why choose when you can get both? With everyday deals at Sonny's. Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, and all you can eat ribs for just $19.99. Yep, you heard right. All your favorites are now available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
This is David Lane. After suffering through several painful injuries to my shoulder, back, and knees, I've taken my issues to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and without fail, they've been a tremendous help toward solving my problems. If you have any orthopedic situations, don't procrastinate. Take action today. Give those aches and pains to the pros at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. You'll be glad you did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Who has the best lineup this season? Honda. Cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, hybrids, and electric. This is one of the greatest lineups Honda has ever had. And now is the best time to purchase or lease one. Visit your local Honda dealer now. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda.
The last thing you want to be dealing with this holiday season is a septic emergency. Plan ahead and schedule to have your septic tank pumped out now. Our wonderful team at Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is standing by and ready for your call. We'll get your septic tank pumped out right away, giving you one less thing you have to worry about this holiday season. Check out our reviews online and give us a ring today. 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
It's Helmets and Heels, Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday.
Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival returns to the Daytona International Speedway in 2025 with Green Day, Korn, Shinedown, and Linkin Park. Plus Bad Omens, Incubus, Good Charlotte, Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, Pierce the Veil, Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Sublime, Hailstorm, I Prevail, Three Doors Down, Jimmy Eat World, Motionless in White, Bush, Chevelle, Mudvayne, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville takes over the Daytona International Speedway May 15th to the 18th, 2025. 5 stages, 4 days, and over 150 bands. 4-day, single-day camping and VIP passes on sale now at welcometorockville.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Michelob Ultra PBR Jacksonville at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 22nd and 23rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
Now, the Florida State Seminole Report, brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team.
Florida State punter Alex Mastromano and kicker Ryan Fitzgerald are finalists for the Ray Guy and Lou Groza Awards, respectively. Winners for both awards will be announced as part of ESPN's Home Depot College Football Awards on December 12th. Florida State is the only school in the country with finalists for both awards, and only the second ACC school with a finalist for both specialist awards in the same season. I'm RJ Saunders with your Ag Pro Seminole Report.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Advanced Business Solutions. The Florida men's basketball team has remained unbeaten, but they've also remained untested. The Gators gear up to face Wake Forest, who sit at 6-1 for the season, at the ESPN Events Invitational in Kissimmee. Gators head coach Todd Golden on the matchup.
I think this kind of provides another challenge for us. Really good team, neutral floor, kind of in the MTE time of year where you're playing for a championship. Obviously only a 4-team deal, and you got to win 2 games to do it. A Wake Forest team I think is incredibly well coached. They have a couple really talented veteran players that have had a lot of success. So I think it'll be a good challenge to see, how we perform against a team that's had success before. Again, neutral floor early, not a lot of time to warm up. It's just kind of one of those tournament-like atmospheres that I think will be unique for us, and since we haven't really had that.
Tip-off tomorrow at 2:30. Catch the game live on 92.5 FM. It's 77 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Helmets and Heels is switched on by
First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Upscale Lighting, Fans, and Home Decor on 1010XL.
1 o'clock hour is here. Mia O'Brien, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. We are with you until 2 p.m. Lauren Brooks has the week off. Man, oh man, Taylor, I know we will have the next 2 days off here at the Superstation as everyone enjoys the Thanksgiving holidays with their family. We have a whole heck of a lot of picks, though, between my midday MyBookie picks, which we just went through, and our weekly picks that'll keep you guys full and happy and fed on mybookie.ag for the next 2 days. Let's hit our picks. Beginning, I thought I was expecting something
music.
there. I was expecting some music there. You're good, RJ.
You got it.
Catching my breath because we have so many picks that we're running through. Let's kick off things with the college football scene, the final regular season week of college football. It is here, and we are beginning with the game that caused so much debate on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures when CBS Sports Radio's Ryan Hickey joined us earlier in the program. South Carolina travels to little old Clemson. The Tigers are 2-point favorites. What say you, Taylor?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go South Carolina. 5-game win streak, 2 of those coming off of top 25 teams. I think the offense will be a little bit of a problem for Clemson. They're just so well spread out when it comes to being able to run the ball and pass the ball. And we've seen Clemson have issues against the run, so I do think that's going to affect them a little bit. And South Carolina's defense has just, I feel like, progressively gotten better throughout the season. So I'm going to say give me the fighting Shane Beamers.
This one hurts because Lauren Brooks has already taken South Carolina.
So I do have Lauren's picks, by the way, because she's not here. So she does say South Carolina wins outright.
And that's the tough part.
Do you need to go opposite?
I need to go oppo. I've built a sizable lead in our weekly picks contest, but at the same time, logic would suggest I need to take Clemson here. But I want chaos.
Yeah.
And the fact that Reese Davis stood there on my television screen last night and said, did we leave the back door open for Clemson or South Carolina, and gave us hope. And then we just had Ryan Hickey on, and as he explained, at 15 and behind Alabama and Ole Miss in this latest set of rankings, they're not leaving the door open for South Carolina. I want you Gamecock fans to be outraged when you take down the Tigers this weekend.
And you still aren't in?
And you're still not in the field. Give me Shane Beamer and the best defensive line in the SEC.
Beamers.
Let's head to the great state of Texas. A rivalry renewed for the first time since 2011. A&M and the Longhorns will face off. The SEC leading Longhorns are 5-point favorites in College Station, though. Taylor Dahl, what say you?
Yeah, I am going to go Texas. I feel like every time I start to get a little faith in Texas A&M, they let me down again, and it's been this up and down roller coaster all season. I feel like they just get beat by Auburn. That was another letdown for me. So, yeah, I'm going to say give me Texas.
What does our friend Lauren Brooks have?
Lauren Brooks says Texas wins. A&M too emotional after the 4 overtime loss to Auburn.
So Lauren is also going with Texas -5. So that one I will go Oppo on. I will go with Texas A&M. I was the only one who picked Auburn last week. So therefore, I will say, you know what, Mike Elko, we're still friends. It's okay. I will pick you in the final game of the regular season. So give me the Aggies to cover that 5-point spread. Our final game of the college football slate of the regular season picks. Although, excitingly enough, we are going to be able to pick another game for the Florida Gators as they are bowl eligible. Can they get to 7 wins, though, Taylor? They are 15-point favorites on the road in Tallytown this Saturday as they face the Noles. I will tell you this, I am taking the Gators to cover that 15-point spread. Although, with the 15-point spread, they are inviting you to the idea of Florida State only losing by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
what say you?
Yeah, so Lauren Brooks does have Florida also. She says DJ Lagway and Jaden Bob, baby. I
think you should
guess
go
maybe
Oppo.
I go Oppo. Yeah, I'll go Florida State because, yeah, I think it's a good point that you say 2 touchdowns at 14 points is still a good win for Florida. I honestly, at first seeing this, was just like, I think it's going to be like a 20-point loss by Florida State, honestly. But whatever. I have a lot of ground to catch up.
We'll give you our updated standings at the end of this segment as we flip over now to the National Football League. We also already ran through our thoughts on the other 2 Thanksgiving Day games in the National Football League, but we saved the best for last. Tua Tagovailoa said following the Dolphins win last week, Taylor Dahl, that they are all about flipping narratives, about squashing narratives. To hell with your narratives. His Dolphins are 3-point dogs, Lauren Brooks has it as 3.5. I'm seeing it now as 3 on mybookie.ag. So personally,
we'll go 3, yeah.
Let's roll with the 3. That's what the latest lines on mybookie.ag are saying for the nightcap on NBC tomorrow night up in Green Bay. I am going to take the Dolphins +3. They have absolutely looked like a different outfit since Tua Tagovailoa has returned. I know history is not on his side when it comes to going to cold weather places, but give me the Dolphins +3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Packers. I think at Lambeau.
You are picking the Packers.
I am picking the Packers. I think Lambeau's hard. It's a hard place to play at, especially this. We've seen this weather that's been happening up north right now, and Lauren Brooks kind of said the same thing in there because of weather. She also picked the Packers, but I just think that personally, I've been a little disappointed by the Dolphins, honestly, recently. I do think this could be a fun game. It's this Mike McDaniel, Matt LaFleur, who can outcoach type of situation, but I would pick Matt LaFleur any day over Mike McDaniel personally, and that's coming from someone who loves Mike McDaniel,
and also hates the Green Bay Packers.
Yes, but the things that Matt LaFleur can create when it comes to the run game, when it comes to scheming things, we saw him win games with Will Levis. I think it's going to be a pretty easy end of the game for the Packers against the Dolphins.
And of course, that game total, if you're interested in playing the over or under, is 48, as is the Lions and Bears game, the first game of the Thanksgiving Thursday night slate. Let's head to Sunday. Eagles, Ravens in Baltimore. The Ravens are 3-point favorites in this battle of the birds, Taylor Dahl.
I'm going Philly. I'm so high on Philly right now. Everything that Saquon Barkley's doing, everything that offensive line can do. Jalen Hurts looks good. That defense, we can talk about Jalen Carter and just the absolute destruction that he's causing on the defensive line and kind of being the anchor of that defensive line. Their secondary, I think, is just getting better and better. You're seeing young guys just flourish on that, which is interesting because that was their biggest weakness last year, so it's fun to see that. But, yeah, give me Philly.
The Eagles are riding a 7-game win streak. There's got to be regression to the mean at some point in time. Nick Sirianni has to do dumb things that cost them the game at some point in time. They got away playing with fire against the Jags a few weeks ago. They do not, in the state of Maryland, give me the Ravens to make it a 2-game win streak of their own, -3.
And Lauren has Eagles win outright with Devontae Smith back in the lineup.
All right. And our final game of this week's picks, our final college football regular season. Don't worry, we're going to play championship game picks. We're going to play Army-Navy. We're going to touch upon the college football playoff and all the lines that come along with it at MyBookie. But our final regular season college and NFL week of picks, we cap it off with the hometown Jaguars. 5-point underdogs as they host the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I'm going Jags. I think that I think the Texans end up winning by a field goal, but I do think that the Jags battle them. I think there's way too many exploitable pieces to the Texans right now. I do think that Nico Collins now, a couple weeks back, we saw him just short of 100 yards last week, and I do think he's a major factor in this offense, and that's kind of what pulls them over. This next week, I do think Joe Mixon finds ways to get that ball moving a little bit too, and they pull it out late, but I do think Jags make it a close one.
An interesting set of directions from Lauren Brooks for her picks for this game. Taylor, take the Heeligans behind the curtain.
Yeah, so her explanation said, Jaguars, the Texans lost to the Titans. Here's to hoping Trevor plays. We're kind of waiting for that. So she said if Doug announces today that Trevor's not playing, she was going to switch her pick to the Texans. Doug didn't really tell us yes or no. It's moving in a positive direction. Trevor practiced. We'll see how it goes. So I texted her, and she did say she's going to stick with the Jags right now.
Trevor Lawrence did meet with reporters a little less than an hour ago, and he is on the practice field as we speak. A little bit from Trevor. He says he's feeling better. It was good for him to rest and heal. Monday was the first time he was able to be out there and do something significant. He feels the best that he has felt in the past few weeks. Even if Trevor Lawrence gets the start on Sunday, I will go Texans -5, both to go Oppo, but also because I do think that until I see some fight, until I see spirits raised, until I get some juice coming out of the Miller Electric Center, I will pick the Houston Texans, who certainly were fired up after a loss to the Tennessee Titans this past weekend. So to recap, we begin in the college ranks where Taylor, Lauren, and I clean sweep +2 South Kakalaka, the underdogs at Little Old Clemson. Meanwhile, Taylor and Lauren go with Texas -5. I will take A&M +5 in that rivalry renewed. Both Taylor has Florida State covering a 15-point spread. Lauren and I have Florida -15. I'm picking the Dolphins +3. Taylor and Lauren, the Packers -3. Taylor and Lauren ride together once more. Eagles +3. I will take the Ravens -3. And I go Oppo again with Texans -5. Taylor and Lauren taking the hometown underdogs, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Those are our picks brought to you each and every week by our friends at MyBookie. And folks, be sure to sign up for that Telegram channel. Make sure you get involved in that prize pool. It is absolutely nuts, folks. And also, while we're plugging things, let's once again plug our question of the day, Taylor Dahl.
Yes. Let's ask it.
Would you play Trevor Lawrence this Sunday against the Houston Texans? If you are the decision maker at Everbank Stadium, we now have over 150 votes cast on X. 52.8% of you say yes. The text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures certainly agrees. And at the MyBookie Digital Studio on YouTube, 64% of you say yes. If Trevor Lawrence is healthy, he needs to be the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars come Sunday. Let's do some more. Let's keep it rolling on this Wednesday edition of Helmets and Heels. I want to make sure we save enough time for our final segment, Taylor Dahl. We had so much fun with this last Friday. We're going to do it again in honor of the Thanksgiving holiday. We're going to give you a menu of what you should watch during the 4-day holiday, which, of course, we won't be here on Thursday or Friday. So want to make sure we give you guys your primer of what you should be watching, whether that's football, basketball, everything in between. But first, Taylor's Tangent awaits on the other side right here on Helmets and Heels on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
This hour is brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers.
Why buy from Hodges Mazda at the Avenues? Because they strive to ensure a satisfying and comfortable car buying experience. And now they are giving back. Lauren Brooks here. Hodges Mazda wants to say thank you to all educators, first responders, and healthcare providers by offering a complimentary oil change and car wash during the Mazda A Season to Move You event. Call today or schedule online at HodgesMazda.com. Come experience for yourself the Hodges Mazda difference. Free oil change not to exceed $79.99. Excludes diesel vehicles. Expires December 31st, 2024. See dealer for complete details.
Get entertaining insight on Sunday's games all day Monday.
They came together as a team.
Sink your teeth into Dandy Foods Postgame Monday.
It is a game.
Makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Mia here, and when I was buying a new construction home last summer, there was no question. Dreamfinders Homes was the builder for me. A big reason why? Their unbeatable interest rates. Right now, you can take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. Find your dream home, take advantage of unbeatable rates, and move in today. I'll say it again, 2.99% year one rate. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Once in a lifetime savings.
No corporate jeweler does that.
Beard's Diamonds does. It's their incredible 44th anniversary sale.
Everything store-wide is on sale, up to an unbelievable 44% off at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
If golf is your thing, you'll want to check out the 2025 Hills Pass at Hidden Hills Golf Club. Unlimited golf, including golf car, and preferred tee times for just one low price. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to purchase your Hills Pass today.
It's Helmets and Heels, Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jags fans, looking for the perfect activity around the holidays? We've got you covered with the inaugural Teal Trot 5K. The race takes place outside Everbank Stadium, Saturday, December 21st. We can't wait to see you there. Your registration includes the 5K, a throwback Jaguars headband, and a ticket to the December 29th game against the Titans. Visit jaguars.com/Teal Trot to sign up today.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE NeoGraft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my take on the Weekend with Dan. Find it on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan, brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Hi, I'm Chuck Farah. We know how important it is for you to have a vehicle after you've been injured in a car accident. So when we represent you for your personal injury claim, we'll help you get a rental car from the insurance company while your car is being repaired. And we'll provide this service at no additional fee. If you're hurt and you've got no car, Let my team go to work for you. Farah & Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555 or go to farahandfarah.com. Jacksonville.
Rake in the savings this fall with Universal Roof and Contracting. Enjoy 15% off all roof repairs and replacements, plus a free wind mitigation inspection. With financing options as low as $115 a month, protecting your home has never been easier. Schedule your free roof inspection today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP. Offer expires November 30th. Protect your home and your wallet.
License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Denny Thompson here. They're still growing. Tyson Sound and Security is looking to hire a master electrician. Are you or someone you know a master electrician with residential experience? Candidate will start at the industry's most competitive pay. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call to apply 762-1000. Tyson Sound and Security hiring a master electrician offering top-notch industry pay. Call to apply 762-1000. Equal opportunity employee.
Movember is Men's Health Awareness Month, so take charge of your health and vitality at Ackerman Urology in Mandarin, Middleburg, the Beaches, and World Golf Village. For prostate and urological needs, trust Ackerman Urology. AckermanUrology.com.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Light up your lunch with Helmets and Heels.
Presented by First Coast Lighting and Fans.
On 1010XL.
We are locked, we are loaded, we are stuffed with a cornucopia of sports for you on this fine Wednesday. Let's keep it rolling with Taylor's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
I've got a two-parter here for my tangent today. The first part's football related. The second part is not. I wanted to go over an interesting chart that I saw, and it's talking about which quarterbacks benefit the most from yards after catch. And so it has one side, which is the EPA per completion for air yards. So the quarterbacks that just get the most success out of those full-on air yard plays. And then the ones that get the most help, I guess you could say help, but the EPA per completion for those yards after catch. So it is interesting. I will go ahead and say this, and this is why probably a lot of people are saying what they are saying about playing Trevor this week. When it comes to EPA per completion for the air yards, the 5 best quarterbacks in the league in 2024 so far are Brock Purdy, number 1, Jameis Winston, number 2, Sam Darnold, number 3, Russell Wilson, number 4, and Trevor Lawrence, number 5. And they are all they're grouped pretty close together in that completion per air yard, that EPA completion per air yards. Not many people close to them other than Anthony Richardson. But Anthony Richardson also gets a ton of help after catch, which those 5 I just named do not. They also are all in the realm of below average when it comes to getting the help after catch. Now, the quarterbacks that get the most, the EPA per completion for yak yards, the top quarterbacks in the league, Tua Tagovailoa. Would you have guessed that me over?
I'm not surprised, but given how few games comparatively he's played, that's what surprises me.
Still interesting. And also, I feel like Tyreek hasn't been getting the ball as much either recently. And
Jalen Waddle just went off this weekend for the first time in months.
Yes. So it is that I still would have, if you would have said name 5 teams, I would have named that just because that's kind of been the game there. But Josh Allen is the second highest when it comes to those getting help from yak yards. Then behind that is Jared Goff with the 3rd most. Behind that is Baker Mayfield with the 4th most. And then Derek Carr is right behind that with 5th. And then you could go ahead, I'll throw Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is very close to that with the 6th most with yak yards. And those 5 guys also have the fewest air yards, the lowest EPA per completion air yards, but most with the yak. The 5 I named before have the most air yards, but not a lot of yak. And if you want to talk about the quarterbacks that get a little bit of both, It's Joe Burrow, number 1, Jalen Hurts, number 2, Jordan Love, number 3, CJ Stroud, number 4, and Jaden Daniels, number 5.
And what do 4 of those 5 quarterbacks have in common? Which is they have I'll include Jaden. I'll include Jaden Daniels, that they have a treasure trove at the wide receiver position, that it doesn't matter what coverage you throw at them because there are so many ways to skin that cat. It doesn't matter. They will find a way to beat you. By the way, we did have one Healigan who texted in and said that they want Jameis Winston to come here and be the quarterback.
I would love
instead
to
of Trevor Lawrence. Like, look,
instead of Trevor, I don't know, but I would love to have Jameis in the quarterback room.
We are Jameis apologists. You've come to Helmets and Heels on the right day. With all due respect to our friend Lauren Brooks, who is enjoying a well-deserved vacation. Taylor and I will always defend Jameis in the year of our Lord 2024. But, folks, the argument that Jameis would be more effective than Trevor Lawrence in this offense is futile.
Yeah. If you're telling me I get to choose between Jameis and Mac, give me Jameis right now. I did want to share this part, too. So the quarterbacks that struggle the most when it comes to getting, or I guess their team doesn't help them much with those EPA per completion, the yak yards. So Bo Nix. So that's an interesting one because that means Bo Nix is doing a lot on his own, which I think you have to kind of tip your hat to. Bryce Young, Cooper Rush, Daniel Jones, and Geno Smith are the ones that are sitting in that realm of just not getting much help in that yak yard area. I also, part 2 of my tangent is, and I tweeted about this yesterday, like the weird hate that all of a sudden Twitter world and media world is giving to Thanksgiving is driving me insane.
Okay, tell me more.
It's driving me insane.
What is this hate you describe?
All of a sudden, it's like the worst holiday there is, and turkey sucks, and like all of these weird complaints. Like Greg Braggs, who works for CHGO, went on a rant. Alyssa Lang went on a rant yesterday about how turkey sucks. I personally love Thanksgiving, and I love Thanksgiving because to me it's family. Like you get to see family. Maybe you don't get to see a ton normally throughout the year.
You definitely eat foods that you otherwise wouldn't get to
don't eat on a normal basis for most people. You also, there's no other like obligation. You don't have to worry about stressing yourself out to buy presents for people. You don't have to worry about going to church and getting up early if you're not a church person. You don't have to worry about hearing loud fireworks until 2 a.m. when people are shouting them, putting them off on 4th of July. And look, I love all of those holidays. I'm personally, give me all the holidays. I love all of them, but it's just so weird. And there's been so much weird hate about it. I love turkey. I am that person that when I go to barbecue places, I get turkey. I love barbecued turkey. I will get like brisket and stuff too. But if you do turkey right, it's delicious. And I get maybe your homes make it too dry for you. And I'm sorry that you've had to experience that, but experience a good juicy turkey or a deep fried turkey because those are delicious. And stop all the hate, the turkey Thanksgiving hate. This is a time to be thankful.
So something tells me when we get ready to unveil our menus, our viewing guide menus for the next 5 days, tailored all that, turkey is going to be one of your marquee, when we compare Thanksgiving food. So your top 4 games to watch this weekend, turkey is included in your top 4.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see what else you include after your staunch defense of turkey.
What would be because we did this last week, and we're changing it up a little bit this week, Mia, because last week we just we kind of did a snake draft, and we had the more popular Thanksgiving food. So it was the turkey at the top. Then we have the mashed potatoes and the green bean casseroles, the most common Thanksgiving foods, and we picked our games through that. I feel like if you were to do that, and if you were to say like the turkey's number 1 and the mashed potatoes are number 2, and let's just say the rolls are number 3, just to do a quick, what's your turkey, mashed potatoes, and rolls of the Jaguars team right now?
Oh boy, oh man, you're throwing a real curveball. I was not prepared for that. Ultimately, what do I believe it should be, or what is it right now?
What is it at this point in time?
Well, at this point in time, Trevor Lawrence has to be the turkey. He's the main event. That's how this offense has been constructed. Mm-hmm. I would love to say they've leaned on the run, but they have not. The run game are the dinner rolls right now. They're auxiliary. Yeah. They are simply periphery, and it's unfortunate because it should be, at the very least, the potatoes. Yeah. It should be part of your meat, potatoes, veggies combination. It is not. And so I would make the run game the dinner rolls, and I would make – do I have to pick a potato? Because honestly,
you like sweet potatoes or you like Brussels sprouts. I feel like more than anything.
Well, the defense I think are the Brussels sprouts because they're not for everyone. They have to be cooked just right, and unfortunately, they have not been cooked right so far.
And they need the help with the bacon and all of the other things that you throw on when you make it.
Yeah, they need me to give them a recipe. I'm more than happy to come down there to the Miller Electric Center and teach some folks or wherever to how to cook Brussels sprouts right. But you alluded to it. Yeah. We're going to give you our menu for your viewing guide for this Thanksgiving weekend coming up on the other side right here on Helmets and Heels.
This hour of Helmets and Heels is brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Mia here. The holidays are around the corner, and the last thing you want is a septic emergency. Call Duck Duck Rooter and schedule your septic tank pump out or full system inspection today before Grandma and Uncle Eddie come to town. That's Duck Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769. Don't let a septic disaster be the highlight of your holiday dinner. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com or call today, 904-862-6769.
The Money Pages brings you this week's Red Zone featured player of the week, number 23, Jaguars linebacker Foye Oluokun. Oluokun played college ball for Yale and was drafted by the Falcons in the 6th round in 2018. Make sure to pick up this week's Jags game program with a commemorative ticket of Foye Oluokun inside. Download the Money Pages app for weekly specials. Money Pages, official sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Helmets and Heels.
Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
The next generation of college stars are here in Jacks. Tom Hacker joined 1010XL all day Wednesday to learn where high school's top prospects will be heading. The early signing period is brought to you by San Jose Collision.
On 1010XL.
How many times a day does your heart beat? The answer coming up.
With hurricane season now here, the only weather you need to be concerned about is whether your homeowner's insurance policy will cover you in the event of storm damage. Ask about Southern Oak Insurance today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
At a rate of 60 beats a minute, your heart beats about 86,000 times a day. So it'd be wise to take good care of it.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Hey, Googans. Vince Hicken here from my friends at Beaches Dermatology. We all know summer's now gone, but that doesn't mean the sun goes away. It's Florida, right? That said, you still need to protect yourself from that bright sun. Golfing, fishing, weekends at your kids' game, or just taking care of the yard. Protect yourself and your skin. Beaches Dermatology and I want to remind you to wear your sunscreen. It's important. Holidays are also approaching, so take care of that spouse of yours with a gift from Beaches Dermatology. Call today or go online at beachesdermatology.com.
Mia here for MyBookie. Thanksgiving isn't just about stuffing your face, it's about stuffing your wallet. And MyBookie has a bunch of killer promos to help you do just that. Thanksgiving Day, MyBookie is boosting the odds on Devon A-Chain to score the first touchdown in Dolphins Packers. If he scores first, you cash in big. If he doesn't, MyBookie has your back with a full refund. That's what I call a no-lose bet. Starting Monday, MyBookie's Telegram prize pool contest kicks off. The pool starts at $15K and grows by $5,000 for every 1,000 new subscribers. All you have to do is join the Telegram channel by December 1 to lock in your share. You'll find the Telegram channel link in our MyBookie videos and graphics this week on the 1010XL social platforms. The more subscribers, the bigger the winning. So spread the word and let's make this jackpot massive. Here's the game plan. This Thanksgiving, load up your plate, grab your phone, lock in your picks. MyBookie's giving you risk-free football, a shot at growing prize pool, and if you're new to the family, they'll double your deposit with promo code 1010XL. But anything, anytime, from anywhere with MyBookie.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Following the Jags bye week, they're preparing for the Texans, who currently lead the AFC South Division. Head coach Doug Peterson spoke on getting back to what has worked for them in the past.
I mean, we got to keep working. We got to keep, as a staff, put our players in position to make plays on the field. And then ultimately the players, execute the game plan. Really kind of get back to some things that I think were successful, have been successful for us, whether it's, rhythm, tempo, whatever, try to get things going. But ultimately we got to focus as a staff, as players, and just continue to do our jobs.
JTA Game Day Express is back. Save gas and avoid parking hassles as the Jaguars take on the Texans this Sunday. Let them do the driving. With multiple locations around town and passes starting at $10 on the My JTA app. To learn more, visit jtafla.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Kept classy by First Coast Lighting and Fans. Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor.
On 1010XL.
One segment to go before Thanksgiving weekend can truly begin for the ladies of Helmets and Heels. Mia O'Brien, Taylor Dahl, Lauren Brooks already has the week off. RJ Saunders is keeping us on the air and pushing all the right buttons. He is also going to be a part of this Thanksgiving edition of What to Watch for this upcoming weekend. Taylor Dahl, kick us off. What is on your menu for your viewing tasting pleasure this weekend? And of course, note for the listeners the caveat that we have for this week's rundown.
Yes, and so the little bit of change we had this week is that it is also some of my kind of rankings for the foods I like too, and that was the difference of last year. But as we alluded to in the last segment, the turkey is my main and my favorite, and I am going to go for the Eagles at Ravens for my turkey. I think this game is going to be fantastic. I think it's two of the better teams in the league right now. I think that it's going to have implications when it comes to possible seeding later in the season. I think that the NFC North, when it comes to the Steelers and what's going on in that division, and then also obviously with the Washington Commanders being close behind the Eagles also, I think there is a lot to talk about when it comes to these teams both needing wins. It's obviously at Baltimore. We saw the Ravens just win last week, and you see now the streak that the Eagles are on. So I'm super excited about this game. It's also a conversation we had yesterday, Mia, of this Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry storyline that we've heard a lot of Saquon, which I think we obviously should, but I also think we should hear a lot of Derrick Henry because their numbers are very similar right now. So it'll be really, really fun to see both of these guys on the football field in one game.
So what we are doing, folks, we are giving you our 4 sporting events. It can be NFL, college football, basketball, whatever it may be. The 4 events that we are going to be absolutely locked in on this weekend in the order of our top tier Thanksgiving food. So that is Taylor Dahl's main entree that she will be locked in on. That's her turkey. RJ Saunders, what's your number one favorite Thanksgiving dish? Is it actually the turkey or the ham?
It's dressing, actually.
Ooh, okay, RJ.
So yeah, dressing in the middle of the table for me. I'm kind of intrigued with this round 2 between the Celtics and the Cavs. It seemed to me that Boston really didn't have any problem against the Cavaliers in their round 1 matchup at Boston. Let's see what Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and company are able to do. I mean, a lot of people think this is round 2 of what could be the Eastern Conference Finals in just a few months down the line. So I really do want to see how the Cavs respond. They get out to a hot start. The only loss that they have came to the Celtics, and they were beat rather handedly. So let's see what happens in round 2.
I love it, and I love that you went with the dressing first. I thought about going with it first because, look, it's the one time of the year that we actually can outwardly say, I love stuffing, I love dressing.
Yeah.
I will also, though, for the argument's sake of this is a guide of what to watch for, what is the main entree, I can't pick between turkey and ham. I always like to have a little bit of each on my Thanksgiving platter. So I'm going to give you a turkey and a ham as part of my main entree from the world of college football. I think we need to celebrate the fact that this is the last regular season weekend. It snuck up on us, and I don't think we've done enough this week to celebrate that this is the last regular season weekend of the season. So give me for my turkey, Texas A&M. I think it's going to be more of a game than many people believe in College Station. So that's the turkey. And for my ham, I love Shane Beamer, just like I love these kids. He's not only a meme, he's a damn good football coach. He can mind the portal on the defensive side of the ball, clearly, unlike anybody else, especially that defensive front. So give me South Carolina Clemson as the part 2 of that main event. That is the ham. What's number 2 in your guide to watch for your Thanksgiving power rankings, Taylor?
So my next is mashed potatoes, and my mashed potatoes are going to be, I was actually going to do South Carolina at Clemson, but since you did that, I'm going to pivot and make it about myself, and I'm going to say the Notre Dame versus USC game. Caleb Williams is leading the Trojans out of the tunnel in this game. They're honoring Caleb Williams. Sorry, I'm going to need you to take the L this weekend. I need Notre Dame defense and Al Golden to do what they've been doing all season and completely shut them down and let Notre Dame host a college football game.
Love it.
Playoff game, sorry.
Love it. RJ, what say you, number 2?
The ham for me, of course, is going to be Lakers Thunder.
You are a ham guy.
Yeah, I'm a ham guy. So the thing is with the Lakers versus the Thunder, the Lakers have now lost 3 straight games to teams that have a record over 500. And, JJ Redick, 17 games in, if you were to tell me that he'd be 10-7, I understand that that's also the same record Darvin Ham had last season, 17 games into the regular season. This is an interesting thing for me because you do have the Oklahoma City Thunder that are looked at as a squad that is going to make it over the hump this year. They're going to represent the Western Conference within the NBA Finals. Now, I do look at this Lakers team, however, as a team that can hurt a team's feelings if they can just get in the playoffs, and hopefully they're not doing it via the play-in. But let's see. It's an early test for the Los Angeles Lakers, and it really seems to me in the second half they really tend to struggle. That's what happened even last night against the Phoenix Suns. So the ham for me. I just really want to see what are the Lakers and also what are the Thunder. Both at this point of the regular season.
For my stuffing dressing, which is my number 2, and yes, I do call it stuffing, RJ Saunders. I know you call it dressing. A lot of folks out there, we probably should have made that our question of the day, quite frankly.
Call it stuffing or
do you call it stuffing or do you call it dressing? That's number 2 in my power rankings and my what to watch for this weekend. I'm just going to say the Maui Invitational in general. We have actually... Yeah, I won't keep it too generic. I was going to say college basketball in general, but that's way too generic. I'm just going to say Maui Invitational at large. This is, folks, if you haven't watched college basketball yet this year, I feel sorry for you. Every single game it has felt like at that tournament has come down to the wire. The championship game, which I guess if we're going to pick one, I guess we'll pick that, even though I think Auburn's going to run away with this thing. That's coming up at 5 o'clock Eastern today. So kick off your Thanksgiving weekend with a little stuffing to begin the Thanksgiving spread with the Maui Invitational Championship. By the way,
So talking to me, because I do not, I've said it, I do not really start watching basketball until around February. Give me 2 or 3 that I should absolutely watch.
Absolutely. So I do think, while, yes, it's the championship game, I think Auburn's going to run away with it, but maybe they get tired legs from the last 2 nights out. Of course, Iowa State and Auburn went blow for blow on Monday night in their first game of the Maui Invitational. That's at 5 o'clock, so that's certainly one to watch. I do think Colorado-Iowa State, which is about to begin in about 45 minutes, that game I think could actually be a sneaky good one in the 5th place game, just because that's a Colorado team that has an entirely new starting lineup from last season, and yet there they were taking down UConn last night, and so or yesterday afternoon, I should say. So I do like the Buffs and Iowa State. I also think that if we're to go away from Maui and we're to look at the 2 Vegas tournaments that are going on right now, you'll have a top 25 showdown between A&M and Creighton coming up at 6:30. It'll be a good game, defensive-minded game. Creighton's without their point guard for the unforeseeable future. But at the same time, I think if you're looking for defense, if you're looking for a blow for blow situation, I think that's a game that'll be a real good one. And if you want some blue blood action, Michigan State, North Carolina tonight, I think UNC is going to run away with that. That's the 3rd place game for the Maui Invitational. If you stay awake, UConn and Dayton are playing in the 7th place game. Yes, UConn, mighty UConn, 2-time defending national championship, champion, cannot finish better than 7th at the Maui Invitational, the most prestigious multi-team event in college basketball. That game's at midnight tonight. So if you stay up, if you're out there late, Thanksgiving Eve, I hear people are still into that sort of thing. UConn, Dayton could be fun. And then Rutgers, Alabama, which actually I'm going to call an audible. I am going to give myself my number 3 on my menu guide. I am going to give the Vegas tournament some love, and specifically, I'm going to give Rutgers, Alabama some love. That was an impressive win for the Tide last night. Mark Sears returned in a big way. The Dakota Durant with a double-double, and they take down Houston. Houston now has 2 losses, but they're to 2 top 10 teams in Auburn and Alabama. They'll face a Rutgers team that lost at Kennesaw State. Credit to Steve Peichel for not being afraid to travel to a mid-major, but it came back to bite a young Rutgers squad. They lose to Kennesaw State. They bounced back last night against your Fighting Irish under the cover of night. No one was actually watching that game. It was like at 1 a.m. But they do get a 10 o'clock primetime game tonight on TBS against the number 9 Crimson Tide. So that is my number 3, which is my sweet potatoes.
Love it. My number 3 is going to be deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs. I could eat 1 million of these things. If you were listening to the show earlier in the year, I made my deviled egg flight, and it was freaking delicious. One of my favorite things to especially just snack on throughout the day after you have that main plate of food. But I'm going to say Dolphins at Packers for this one. I think this game in general is going to be really good. I mentioned the coaching battle that we'll see between LaFleur and Mike McDaniel. And I just think that it's one of these games where it will kind of tell what Miami really is, because I think we've seen some ups and downs, and obviously you want to be able to see if Tua being back can really bounce them back fully in it. I also, the deviled eggs, the play on the devil being the Packers, I had to go ahead and throw that in there. But yeah, give me that one for my 3rd option.
Yeah, deviled eggs, a very underrated treat that you can have on Thanksgiving in that Dolphins-Packers game. Perhaps a little underrated as we look at this weekend's slate of games. RJ Saunders, so far you're dressing Celtics, Cavs, your ham, Lakers, Thunder, your 3rd best Thanksgiving food, and thus the 3rd game you will be watching this weekend.
Macaroni and cheese. Just warms your heart. Very savory dish. And what's savoring my palate when it comes to the NBA is the Orlando Magic as they go toe-to-toe with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I want to see that game on Sunday. They do play them on Friday as well. But that Sunday game, they're going to have a day off in between. The Orlando Magic are winners of 9 out of their last 10. They are rolling. Now you're going to get into December. And now you play the waiting game. How much longer until Paolo Banchero comes back? He believes that he'll be back before Christmas rolls around. However, a team that I just don't sleep on for whatever reason is the Brooklyn Nets. Now, no, this is not going to be a playoff team, but you have guys like Dennis Schroeder, Nick Claxton, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith. These are guys that play hard. These are guys that have a lot of NBA experience, and they have surprised a few teams early on in this regular season, but shouldn't be anything tough to handle for the Orlando Magic. I'm really enjoying the way in which they're playing. Franz playing at an all-star level, so It's just warmed my heart to see that the Orlando Magic, with so many individuals closing the door on their playoff hopes, have really kept things afloat in the absence of Paolo Banchero.
So RJ goes 3 for 3. All 3 of his items on his menu are from the National Basketball Association. Taylor Dahl, one more thing you can put on your plate for this Thanksgiving menu guide. What is it?
I will say, side note really quick, that is another Thanksgiving conversation because I have seen people argue that mac and cheese is not a Thanksgiving dish, and I disagree. I think it is a Thanksgiving dish. I think it may be a Southern thing because my family up north does not do the mac and cheese
You
on
would be correct.
Thanksgiving.
Never
but my
did it.
Southern family does do
Yes.
mashed potatoes, mac and cheese on Thanksgiving. So that is an interesting take. But I'm going to say my final one is chocolate pie. I love pies in general, but the chocolate pie on Thanksgiving is my favorite. I'm going to say Steelers at Bengals for this one. I think that number one, we just talked about the Ravens and the Steelers in that AFC North and what's going on there. Those two have been battling back and forth, but we keep every week like the Bengals are still in it. Joe Burrow still has a chance. Are they going to make it happen in some miracle? And I think if they lose this game, then it's done for them this season. I think if they win this game, they will still be kind of in this chatter of them being able to save the season. So I think it is an important game for both teams. And seeing if the Bengals defense that's been absolutely atrocious can be able to stop Najee Harris and Russell Wilson and George Pickens.
The text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures is loving Taylor Dahl's spread for Thanksgiving, her menu guide, which to recap, Taylor went with turkey, mashed potatoes, deviled eggs, and chocolate pie. The turkey are the Eagles and Ravens. The mashed potatoes, Notre Dame, USC on the gridiron. The deviled eggs, Dolphins, Packers, and the chocolate pie, Steelers and Bengals. RJ, let's round out your Thanksgiving menu guide first. What is the final thing you're putting on the table?
Well, everybody needs something sweet, and can't get any sweeter than yams now, can it?
Yams, not sweet potato. You're saying yams.
Well, sweet potatoes, yams. You can go either or. I'm going yams on this one. And the reason being is because of the sweetness that is LaMelo Ball. Pause. LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets going up against the New York Knicks. The Knicks have been an interesting team for me coming out of the gate. I really thought that the trade for Karl Anthony Towns, this would definitely be a team that, although they are a top 4 seed, it really feels like they haven't punched anybody in the mouth as of yet. You can make an argument that they did do that to the Denver Nuggets, but there hasn't been that punch to where I'm saying, my goodness, this is a scary team in the Eastern Conference come playoff time. The Charlotte Hornets, you know, they're not really going to go anywhere in terms of, you know, the playoffs or moving up the rankings within the Eastern Conference, but I got to admit, this kid LaMelo Ball is something special, and I would love to see him in a bigger market. It seems to me that he is shooting 30 to 35 times really just to keep his team in the ball game. But if you see a lot of the things in which he does, it's absolutely sensational in my book. So I got to go with the Knicks and the Hornets just because I love LaMelo Ball has now become must-see TV for me.
RJ, I just hope that Jared McCain sweet note from Taylor Dahl was not lost on you in your complete NBA spread for your Thanksgiving menu guide. I'll wrap this puppy up. For my turkey/ham, I have both college football games, the main event, Texas A&M, South Carolina, and Clemson. My stuffing/dressing, the Maui Invitational, including tonight's championship game at 5 o'clock between Auburn and Memphis. My sweet potatoes, my second favorite side, tonight's Rutgers-Alabama championship out in Las Vegas. 2 tournaments going on simultaneously out in the desert. And finally, my sneaky 4th game to watch, my 4th favorite Thanksgiving menu item, cranberry sauce right from the can, folks. I love me some Ocean Spray. I picked some up this week. And, of course, I love me some women's college basketball. If you want to hear me rant about the fact that half of these games are on Flow Sports and Baller TV, you could check out my podcast, the Women's Basketball Podcast. I won't do that here. Instead, I will just tell you, on an actual, legitimate cable and television network, Fox, not FS1, not FS2, Fox, tomorrow, 1:30. If the Lions and Bears game gets away from the Bears or away from the Lions,
yes,
might I invite you to check out my cranberry sauce? That is number 4 South Carolina, Dawn Staley's squad, taking on 15th ranked Iowa State in the Fort Myers tip-off. I think it's going to be a goodie. These are two teams that are coming off of, well, South Carolina's coming off a disappointing 20-point loss to UCLA. Iowa State lost at Northern Iowa. They narrowly defeated Drake on Sunday, so both teams with something to prove. If you want to see great post play, Audie Crooks, no, not South Carolina, Audie Crooks and Iowa State, one of the best front courts in the country in women's basketball. That is my cranberry sauce. So we got to get out of here. Let's cool down real quick, RJ.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
I'm going to cool down with the conversation that led our program on whether Trevor Lawrence should play or not play this weekend against the Houston Texans. And if you go back and you listen to Trevor talk today, he does kind of go into some detail of that AC injury and the difference between when he did have it in his left shoulder and the right shoulder, why this one's taking more time. So do go take the time to listen to Trevor kind of explain that. But he does also mention, because Doug pretty much says it's more of a pain tolerance thing, Trevor more so says maybe a little bit, but it can restrict other things because that AC shoulder injury can affect other muscles, which also can affect certain, he doesn't say throwing motion or anything like that, but he does say it does affect certain things he can do during a game because it's affected other muscles. So something to keep in mind, that it's not just, okay, can he or can't he? If it was just a matter of that, Trevor Lawrence is going to be out there. He's that kind of guy. I think there are more things involved with this when it comes to their decision of whether Trevor will play or not. So we will see, but it will be interesting to see how that plays out.
And I will cool down with the results of our question of the day. Would you play Trevor Lawrence if you were making the decision this Sunday against the Texans? 50% of you on X say yes, and on YouTube at the MyBookie Digital Studio, 62% of you say yes as well. Our thanks to Ryan Hickey of CBS Sports Radio for joining us. Our thanks to you, the Heeligans, for hanging out with us on this Thanksgiving Eve. For the vacationing Lauren Brooks, for RJ Saunders, for Taylor Dahl, I'm Mia O'Brien. XL Primetime comes up next. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We will catch you on Monday.